Hey, what's up? I'm just gonna start these textures off. I didn't do this on camera, but I did do it last night. The shiny stuff I did. That's the attachment. I don't want the attachment to be that. Please tell me I didn't. Front main, Elgun front, Elgun main, normal, Argon attachment, no. Yeah, want to mess with that one. In front, yeah. What's up, everyone? Two more people. Let's see. Two. Right now, I'm getting the base shaders that I figured out what I want on here. I think that's all needed, but I'll make sure one more time. Whoops. Let's see. I think that was it. Let me load up SFM real quick and see what's going on. Scan complete. Non-malware detected. Congratulations. Jesus Christ. Congrats. I don't know. Sorry, that's my roommate. Or one of my roommates, at least. So I think the goal tonight is to get these materials figured out. I don't know how far I'll go. Definitely going to get it to where it's pretty much done. I'm probably going to have to go out there and assign faces to a different texture, such that I can have like the rubber bits being a different material than, say, the metal bits. That's right, there's no lighting, whatever. So I'll do that later. I just want to test these materials out. Once we do that, we can figure that one bit out. Until Faye actually hit tab, you know. Okay, so I'm going to. He's kind of a goofball. He's actually talking with my landowner's wife. So, alright, so I kind of made a normal map from an image, and I used it for a general purpose kind of thing. So it's on all these shaders. Like, I don't want to say materials, but like you can see here, probably if I will change this up a little bit. Inclusion shot. I'm gonna make inclusion shot. You'll see that it has bumpiness to it. Maybe not. Hold on. I saw it earlier. So there you go. Alright. So, see, there's the bump map right there. So that's on there. I just haven't got the color on there yet. I'm not really happy with the color on this because the texture is not very seamless, and you can see clearly, you know, see how there's a darker area right here? That's what the split is. I don't like that. I don't like this little bit down here either, but this is definitely the problem on this texture, so I'll have to go back and like manually do this. The base color at least. The bumpiness stuff I won't have to worry about because I've already got the bumpiness on it. I'll have to paint these anyway. Obviously I don't want the insides here painted black. Now I have I'll see what I have to do, because having to recompile this out of that will be a pain in the butt. Just gonna check the head real quick. It's definitely shiny. I didn't intend for that yellow thing to pick up the light like it did, but it did. So. Alright, so at this point I think it's time to start looking at our actual textures. So, because I kind of want to have bump on all this right here, but like shiny on this. But they wouldn't be opposed to say like a luminosity, I don't know. But for some reason it looks like it's the camera POV, I don't know. It's like going into the head there. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on these models again. I've got the base VNTs done. It's just a matter of splitting this off. Well, I'm trying to think what I'm going to do this. That wasn't a big problem. The problem here, of course, is the see, I'm kind of liking the whole kind of metalish in there, but not really. But the neck, that's what I was looking for. The neck here, to turn the intensity up a little bit. Not only is it not black, and neither is this right here. It's shiny, so I don't want that. So let's start working on that. Can you hear me any better? I switched mics to something else, a little closer. If I'm lucky, I'll just have the UV shells for these. And that'll just make it a lot easier. So what I have to do basically is assign these to a different thing. In fact, I probably should do that real quick. Hold on. Let's stick it. T4A, beta, chest, and then target. Work on this in Photoshop. Something make it something really basic, like black or something. But the thing is it needs to be like a no bump mapping on it and stuff. So let's go ahead and save as. Oh, hold on now. What are you doing? That's an interesting effect. That's not the color I wanted either, but whatever. I want an actual black color. Because we're assigning faces to it, and the faces are going to pull. Those particular faces will pull from this particular map. Then it doesn't really matter if I paint it all black or whatever. So, save as. We'll save it as neck. Actually, I'll save it as rubber. Because there's not really anything complicated between rubber parts. You get the same color. So we'll just go ahead and save it as rubber. And then, oh hey Hans. So essentially what I'm doing right now, Hounds, is I don't know when you came in, I've been looking over here. I'm going to build out the rest of the color shaders for Steel Hooves and see if I can make any headway with them tonight. So, I mean, he's compiled, that's the good news. It's just he needs to have his materials finished. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll have to compile them again simply because the faces I'm assigning are going to affect the DMXs or the SMBs, but oh. Do you have Photoshop CC? Yeah. In a manner of speaking. I haven't actually upgraded the 15 yet because I don't have a reason to. I hear there's problems with the 15 anyway. I'm going to assume that's fine. Alright, so we're just going to right click, new material. Go ahead and do a Fong E. If music's too loud or annoying, let me know and I'll change it. I am just going over speakers today. I'm not doing desktop audio. I keep getting flagged by Twitch for copyrighted music for some reason. So I'm trying to make it as impossible for the bot to detect anything, because to hell with them. Oh no, I put it... Crap, okay, fine. So Sonny, I was going to do rubber. Okay, yeah. So default rubber texture. Like, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and call. Let me check that anyway. Oh no, okay, yeah, okay. So, as with anything, I have to actually put this in a particular folder, otherwise it's going to fail on me. Forgot about that. RG, rubber, okay, Control C. Then we're going to go back to material source. That should be right. So, if I go in here to attributes, I'm going to call this rubber. Anything else need rubber on it? Probably use some rubber on it. Assign these to rubber. Where's my rubber? There you go. What? no. Rubber I want to have... Oh no, oh crap. Hold on. I assigned the wrong name to the wrong material. Hold on. Material, I don't want this to be rubber, metal. This I want to be rubber. So now we're going to do some of these rubber. There we go. If I'm lucky, I may not even need to see, not even have a reason to, you know, go back to this model and redo it, because originally I was going to redo the model because I didn't like the modeling on it. Like, I messed up, but whenever you have the material on it with the bumps and stuff, it looks more natural to have a little bit of a dent there than, you know, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and add these areas right here. Unless, of course, I don't know, there was a problem with the last time I did this. It wasn't on this side, it was on the other side, I think. Just check the... Yeah. 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 Okay, I can just do faces then. Yeah, I'll just do faces then. And that one. That'll be fun. The advantage of doing it this way over, say, going the mud box or whatever, or Mari, is they have to paint via the UV shell, and because I can't isolate based off face that way, I can't get over this UV shell issue that I made. So just do this and be done with it. Yeah. Now we're just going to go over here to existing. Fiddle it. There we go. I have such a giant list. Yeah, you see, like, it's Steel's head underscore 0045 underscore 0046 pasted head blah blah blah. This is all because this scene file has been built upon and built upon and built upon over the last, like, hell, 2 months. So I need some rubber to it. I think it's good, but I'll do it again. I learned a very important lesson, and that lesson is break your stuff in the... Either keep your scene file clean, or start fresh every time you make something, you know, big. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. I'm pretty sure that's not my fault. Yeah, that's because of the texture of the metal. This, however, is the rubber. Okay. I thought I did something wrong there. Alright, so I actually want to go back in here and create a few things. Like up here on this top part where it's got this yellow thing, it may want to be like illuminated or something. So that could be one area that's a different texture. These eyes could be a different texture. The neck definitely going to be different. This neck actually is going to be... I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a rubber texture on that. But I'm going to leave that all metal. I'm going to select that eye. Create a material for that. And it's going to be a Fong E. I'll start off by calling it what it needs to be, and this is going to be eyes. I haven't assigned anything to it yet. I'll have to before I get done. Because it doesn't really matter what I call it in Maya, because what it's going to look for is that target file that I assigned to the material. However, this is going to be... Oh, that's not what I want to do. In fact, I want to... There we go. I couldn't see the gray parts because I was using yellow. Apparently, yes. I'm not the one who modeled this, so... In fact, I may not even want to... yeah, I'll keep the bump up on it. But I'm not going to use the same texture on it. It's going to be a different texture. What was I doing again? Okay, this is going to be light. Let's call it light. Because I want to do like a illumination effect on it. I haven't actually done that before, but I can try. Could go for a separation. Yeah, I don't know if this is supposed to be metal or supposed to be rubber. Probably supposed to be metal. Though what would be interesting is if this is actually rubber and that's metal parts. I'm not sure. This looks more... I'm gonna say it's gonna be more metal. Both these parts, this big hair part and these parts, both be metal, because I don't see that being rubber. Either of those being rubber. Now these bits right here, I imagine them as like actually grommets of sorts. You know what I mean? I may change that up later, but for now I think they should be rubber grommets. That's already a rubber grommet. And that's already a rubber grommet, okay. But that's not. It's not. Existing materials, we're going to go for rubber again. Now I can get really diverse on the materials. The problem is if I do that, it's gonna clog down SFM a lot more anyway. I don't want to do that, so that's basically the gist of it. If I can get around. There we go. It'll be dark black color or something like that. But I'm kind of wondering if there's maybe what is behind here? There's actually an eye back here, maybe? I don't know. I think he left like this is the pupil that he took and made. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could actually move if you want to do eye movement with it, but I'm not gonna. I mean, that would work with the pupils, but it's not gonna work with like a glass. You know, you're not moving the glass pieces. I'd say that's good to go for that piece. Now I'm not touching the gun attach, though I guess I could. No, it's fine. It's fine. If I modify in here, like these little bits here, that's fine, but I couldn't do it on this side because the problem I was having the other day, that Doom guy's help to fix it. Oh, yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's just me keeping going on, Nickney, so I'm just, what I'm doing now is I have to go back in the mesh and I have to assign faces to materials so that whenever you open it up in SFM, you use the right material. 30 minutes late. Yeah, about 35 minutes late. I mean, I actually kind of started, it took about 5 minutes before somebody came in, so, or 3 minutes, whatever. So like I said, I'm just going in here, I'm assigning materials to faces so that we have something to go off of. I don't know if you saw my Nick Knee. I think it's Nick Knee. Let's see if I'll show you the YouTube video. I don't know if you've seen this yet on my I'm testing out the materials. It's right here. Alright, so what I've done is I've gone out there, I've made this, I took a texture offline, made it in a bump map, and adjusted Phong values, and I took the color, the actual original image that I used for the bump map, and I blurred it a lot in Photoshop, and then made it the material of the front. I don't like that as far as the chest goes. You'll see in a second, I think. If you look at, like, right... Oh, whoops. It's the wrong screen. If you look at right here in the middle, there's like a seam there, so I'll have to fix that. There's actually a UV seam, so it's using a darker part of the image on one side of this and a lighter part of the image, so that's why there's a seam there, so I'm not going to use that. A genuine McDonald's ripoff. Ha! That's what I have for dinner. In fact, people know me at McDonald's so much now that yeah, they know me by name. Well, they know me by order, at least. So, that's because I'm a dollar millionaire. Did I do UV shells in this one? I'm pretty sure I did, but let me make sure. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Makes it so much easier. I kind of messed up the chest part because I was kind of in a rush to get that done, but I did UV these, so we're just going to use the same material because, like I said, we're not going to want to load up too many materials when we're doing SFM, even though we will be doing lots of materials as it is. But Got the UV shells in here too. Yeah, I did. Okay, so duh. I'm getting the in-between here. So the idea here is we'll have like a separation effect going on. Okay, so it is getting the bottom there. Alright. Claw without the body. Yeah. So I don't know if you know if y'all have caught up with Argadame, he's so busy he's not even streaming, so I guess I'm not feeling bad at all for taking most of his time. Oh dang it. Oh, I was over here. Make sure I've got it. Okay. Yes. I think thankfully he's on his last scene, more or less, to do, so he should be able to get most of it done. Oh, don't tell me I did that. Don't tell me I did that. No, 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 no. My UV shell's messed up there. What I can do about that, though, is, like I said, faces again. Not the preferred method, but it still works. So I found 2 good resources today by accident on learning Maya from the very, very, very beginning. I'm probably going to post them on my DeviantArt at some point. Stream. On your... Oh, yeah, I can't change it right now. Fiddle with it, so I'm using LT. Don't burn through your data like that, man. I don't know if you got data caps, but I'm not worth your data cap. I'm streaming at 2,500 megabits a kilobits a second. You're going to be burning through 2.5 megabytes of data per second, so don't do that. Who's staying offline? But almost done if it's not already on his current. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had to have Enthrology done before now, because Jay Holler had to go out there and put that all together. So that requires not only his time to get done with the Enthrology stuff, but also Jay Holler's time to get that ready for the Enthrology. So I'm pretty sure he finished that up before. He just really can't talk about it. I mean, he hasn't even told me. I mean, I don't even know what he sees. You have unlimited. Well, you lucky son of a gun. So, I am truly jealous of your infinite data cap. Or no cap at all. Okay. I think I selected everything. If I didn't, well, I'm pretty sure I didn't, actually. Where did I go along? Where did I go along? Yeah, I'm not a football player. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. Okay. We're going to go ahead and sign the material of rubber for that. Ah. Well, I mean, I knew he was doing stuff. I just didn't know what he's up to. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know what the videos are. Like, it's gonna be a surprise for me. All right, so looks more or less right. So I think we've covered those. Those are done. It's just the material that I already have assigned to it's bad. Whatever is going on in Maya is not important there. I'm going to... Should I have black eyes, or should I have like a greenish color eye? I'm gonna leave it up to you. Give me an idea. Should I have kind of a really dark color tinted one, or should I just be flat black or straight black? Because it's gonna be glossy, but you know. Around. No one knows what they are. He just tells us that he... Yeah, he obviously... He's not going to divulge that information. He's not that kind of person. Like, you cannot pull from him forcibly. Trust me, I've tried. I'm going to go ahead and save this as... again, as the target file, but a different name. Tiny black cells. I don't know that I can translate tiny into a color. But I'm going to go dark black anyway. I'm going to use the same color as rubber, which is completely black. So, and of course, I can change that later on. I just need to make sure I have something called sh underscore glass or underscore this or that. I have to make two, because I have to make one for the light, and one for the rubber. I got one for rubber, I need one for the light, and one for the glass. Yeah. Call it SHI. What? SHYE. That maybe? Alright. You can hear yellow now with technology. See, that's the advantage is it doesn't really matter what I color it now, because they're different textures, and then it's only going to affect those eye faces. So, if we needed to change it to a darker color or a different color, it really can't get darker than black, but it changes to a different color, or even change the font value. That's not even going to be a problem. So, that's all post-compile stuff, which is easy enough for anyone to fix and knows what they're doing with textures. So, where was I again? I was... Okay. No, I was trying to do this. Yeah, there we go. It was SHEYE I'm looking for. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I'll just drag it over. And then we're going to save this. We're actually not going to save that. We're going to change colors. I'm going to pick a nice yellow. Like that. Actually, that looks a little too saturated, I think. I'll go with desaturated. Like that. That's even... It's too desaturated. There we go. We'll go with that. I'm going to save as SH Light. Target, that's going to be in that. Yes, okay. And SH Light. Put that over here. Alright. Now we need to assign shaders, the texture file. So material attribute for that is font E. I'm going to change that to a file, and then material source SH. There we go. Now the geometry doesn't take the color when you bring in the source from whatever's in Maya. It's just going to be... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My microphone that I'm using is my professional studio mic instead of my interfaces mic, which is H4n, so it's blocking my chat window. Let me move my mic just a touch. That actually didn't help at all. Hold on. There we go. The furry, I don't know if you've seen my mic, it's furry, has a furry top to it, so it's a little hard to see over. Let's see, what kind of Fallout merchandise do you think you'll be getting at Bronycon this year? Well, last time I brought home something Fallout Equestria from Bronycon, I brought home a blackjack model. Sorry, yeah, somebody in a chat message. What did I buy? Oh, I bought the blackjack Cyber Alicorn. One second, I have a hard time thinking about one thing or two. So, sorry, I have a problem sometimes in Pinkie Pie singing because it's like, I don't know what it is about her, so. What? That's not what I wanted. Material source. No. That face. Well, when I go to being Bronycon, wait. If I do see a FOB merch at Bronycon, I'm buying it. Are you coming to Bronycon? Nickney? Maybe you already told me, I don't remember. If you are, we'll definitely come by it on Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. in the Moon Room. That's where our panel is. Let's see. SH. This is light, right? Yeah, this is light. See, there's not really a lot of Fallout Equestria merchandise there that I know of. I know Uncommented, he's printing out 3D models. I already have one of his models. I don't really have a lot of money to spend, as hard as it may sound, but I don't. Make sure I got everything. I may pick up something in terms of like art here or there. I lit the. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I remember you saying something about that. I just forgot there for a moment. Alright, so I had to create eye texture and assign it. Just final check this. Would you please work for me? There we go. Okay. Light. Alright. We're going to call this Bueno. Oh shit. I don't do that. I can actually talk more when I hit the magic button. So let's hit the magic button. And the magic button is, well, first this one. Make sure we're got all this stuff right. Blah, 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 generate pass, full compile. Yeah, it's usually the problem, especially if we're going by car. There's a guy actually in North Carolina I know that is going. Hold on. Zach, I made some animated VTS. And they work fine that when I place them on a surface, but when I pop them up on the air above the player's head, it's mostly black and flickers. So it's camera person. Color's not what I wanted. Shit. Okay. My landlord's trying to run a TF2 server, and I modified one of the flag models. I guess there only is one flag model for TF2, and I modified it and I sent him the texture to it so he could make his own pony image. But let's see, I feel like its current render mode of 1 color is not what I want it to do, but maybe 5 is. I don't know. I have no idea what he's trying to do. Yeah, so lonely. That's how it is. I mean, even though I have pony people in my house, you know, I still feel lonely sometimes. I mean, my friends, you know, like, you know, landlord's one of them, yeah. I got associates here and there, but I kind of wish I could live near Argo, you know, and it seems kind of cheesy or expected, but really, I'm really missing out not being up there in Minnesota. I mean, that's like the only thing to do in Minnesota is see Argo Daemon, but, you know. So I could go to Mall of America every now and then, but I love this song. Yeah, I hope you can hear it, but so the good news, let's see. Yeah, see, that's the deal. We don't really have a lot of options. Like that's how it was when I was when was that? When I get on my own, 2010. Yeah, I've lived by myself since 2010, and until 2013 late, kind of, I moved in the house with people, and until, you know, between those, that was it 2.5 years that I lived on my own, it really sucked, you know. I was making less than I'm still making less than a teacher's salary, but I was making much less. I was still working 8 hours a day, so I couldn't afford very much, and I couldn't really buy anything either. So I had just my computer and Maya. That's a rags to riches story, but whatever. No, I didn't have a lot of people because even though I'm in a college town, when you're an adult and you're out of college and you're of a certain age, you're no longer like, you're kind of like the old fart in the room, like even if you're like hanging out with college seniors. And this happened recently too, is like we had a Brony group for a while there, pretty large one, like 30 people, about the same size as the one that's active at MSP, but we kind of died down because they graduated. But really didn't have a lot. And then I found my current landowner, homeowner, and friends and stuff, and that's the whole pony thing is what got us together, you know. I wasn't lonely. I wasn't really lonely after that. In fact, I'm not really right now. It's just, I mean, I could be out there watching movies right now, or I could be making. Oh. Well, see, a lot of people don't even like realize that. Like, at least you realize you wish you could have got on college, but like, some people that I know, like, they just have no care or want to go to college, and they hear these Well, you could make the average salary of a post high school skilled worker is 40 something thousand dollars, but you go to college and that can double to like 80,000. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be at the con next year. That I severely doubt that I'll be at the con next year, because of money things. I have to. I'm paying $5,000 for surgery, so I can't go to the cons. But if we still exist as a fandom, we still exist as a subgroup, say SFM, and for some reason I haven't left yet, then the following Bronycon I may be going to. The other reason I can't go to cons next year is because I have to save up my vacation days. It takes 5 days of vacation, 4 of which are simply traveling days. Like, I literally have to take 4 days of vacation to travel from where I'm at in Central Texas to Dallas, then to Baltimore, and then back to Central Texas. So it's like 5 days of vacation that I have to save up for each con. So originally, 2013 is when I started going to cons. Oh yeah, I mean, for me as a big guy, like I'm a 2-seater person on a plane, is 2 seats, so $500 for airfare for me, and then the hotel room, if you're sharing with people, is a lot less. Better job I'm getting. Well, yeah, I mean, I work at a top level at the top level of the 6th largest university in the United States, at a university level, at a very prestigious position area, and I'm making less than a teacher does at, say, your high school. I mean, the average salary for new teachers in Texas now, for most middle, non-poverty stricken cities, it's somewhere around $47,000 a year, and everyone knows teacher salaries suck horribly. And right now, that's about what I get paid. So, but then again, the teachers have the crappy students and longer hours because they have to deal with the stuff. My mom's a teacher; she's been working for 30 years, as a teacher. But they also get summers off, which is nice. I wish I could get summers off. You know what I mean? But with that bad pay grade, I'm not a teacher. The Well, yeah, but I also have 80,000, well, combined with parents, 80,000 in college debt, and personal debt from the first job where I was making $34,000 a year, with the cost. Okay, so living in a college town is a lot more expensive than living in a normal bodunk town, or even in some parts of major cities, because you've got basically this economy of every student has rich, these parents or these loans that can pay higher prices. So they'll charge, say it like, let's say you go to a fast food joint, right? And the burger would cost you in your hometown $2.50 or $4.50, whatever. They'll charge $5. I don't. Oh, he carries a gun. He gets to carry a gun. I don't. Oh, actually, I don't know if Mississippi is a castle law state. I don't know if it is, or even a standing ground law state. I know in Texas we actually just ratified concealed carry on campus, which means now we have to worry about college students having guns on campus. Legal. I mean, I'm not going to go politics here, but as a university staff, it's interesting to think. But it also means I get to carry one too if I need to, if I have a permit, which I don't, because I don't carry. But they're also legalized open carry if you have a if you have a concealed carry permit, you can open carry. And all the major cities were trying to get that banned or some kind of restriction on that, but they can't. So I guess Texas is getting more gun friendly. Which is, what's funny is everyone's like, oh, Texas is so gung-ho about guns. But when I lived in Tennessee, you need a gun permit to carry a weapon, at least where I work anyway. Yeah, you probably also have to have extra training and certification as well, being a security guard. But I know in Texas you do. You have to have a specific, there's specific grades. I was looking it up. I was looking at doing moonlighting as a security guard. Unfortunately, because of the certification process and the weird hours, it would mess up my normal full-paying job schedule, so I wasn't going to do it. But they have like tiers. You can do security. There's like a tier 1 where you don't have any access to guns, like you're just carrying a nightstick and doing a flashlight thing. And then you got to get certified in like shooting and all other stuff for certain tiers. Yeah. I wouldn't be a very good security guard. Even if I could run, it's like, oh hey, what's up what's going, guys, can y'all leave? And then be like, most guys would be cool, but you get those guys like to be dicks, and like I don't know if I wouldn't say I get mugged, but I get approached by homeless people at least once a month, and in these situations you test what kind of person you are, and I'm not the kind of guy that would go off and like beat up a guy for being shady. So see, that's what would scare me. I'm performing a security guard job with no gun, I'm not like I'm not trained with guns, but okay, so let me look at this SMD file again. We're going back to where we can actually do stuff. If so, run. I can assure you that I can't run. Well, I could if I needed to, but I'd kill my knees doing that. Alright, so let's see, where was that at? That was in C. That wasn't, no, that was in software. Did you have to buy your own gun too? Alright, so I think it was still was beta there. Alright, so let me DMX this. I'm gonna do the DMX trick for which ones did I change? I didn't change the guns. I have a flashlight. Alright, so I changed the head, the chest, and the butt, and the tail. And none of those I need to recompile, so let me... Actually, because the head in here is an S&D anyway, or right there, I don't need the head's fine because it's an S&D. The rear I need to do, the tail I need to do, and the chest I need to do. Okay, so... I'll start with the main shape. And I call it main shape because that's how it has to, you have to name it one way to export it properly out of the tool. So users, Mesa backup, projects, source filmmaker, model source. I'm going for the main shape, which was going to be right here. Well, you would think that, Nickname, but teachers have to buy their own supplies nowadays. Like, my mom's school, for the last 10 years or more, she's had to go out there and buy her own supplies. Like, they'll give her, like, $20 a semester to buy expo markers and, you know, pins and stuff like that. Like, but they don't supply anything for her. Like, you think the basic necessities they would take care of. Like, even at my work, I get to have however many pins and papers and other garbage I want. But as a teacher, she doesn't even get that. She has to go out there and buy her own, usually spending, you know, her own money, which sucks even more. Makes it back up. Model source. No. I need to just clear that out because it's bothering me. Let's see. Project source maker and model source. Yes, we'll do that. So the main shape. Alright, let's export the main shape out. But you know what, Syria? I'll be glad to have you around at Bronycon. Baltimore, I mean, it's not horrible. It's just your normal big city, but, you know, having a trained security guard next to me would be great, so. Security guards. Yeah. I mean, if you look at a nice, like, hell, I can't remember the mag lights. A really nice big mag light. Those are expensive. My dad used to have one back in the 90s. It was just, you could bludgeon someone. Like, you don't need a weapon. You don't even need a nightstick for that thing. You could just beat someone half to death with this big ass mag light. It was hilarious. What was I at? I was doing. Oh, I need a model source. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be missing out next year, so I'll know what you're feeling. I'm glad Syria is able to make. I didn't know Syria was going to be able to make it, considering the cost. But let's see. Local disk. I'm not that tired yet. I had my pill, ADHD pill. Let's see where I'm at. I'm supposed to go to. Oh, oops. Model source projects. That's another model source. I'm making sure that I have all the main shape. Main shape DMX, which is created 746, 748 right now. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really a person for big crowds. As odd as that sound is, going to Bronycon, which 8 to 9, 10,000 people. I don't remember what the count is going to be, but with that many people, I really cannot stand that many people. It's just I'm not good with lots of people. Which you think was weird because I'll be on a panel that's last year was in front of like 400 or 500 people, but I got used to the panel things. I kind of like warm up at MSP and then I do the full thing at Bronycon. But it's just being around so many people. Like it's basically Six Flags for Brony panels, and I've been to pretty much every Brony panel ever created. You know, it's basically the same thing regurgitated over and over again. So I really don't have any kind of urge to go to particular Brony panels. So if I oh, this line's too big for this panel, then I guess I won't go to it. It's big whoop. I often go out there and I'll spend a lot of the con actually in my room. Well, I guess that was because last year I had not thought about how much walking I'd be doing with Argo and Adam, and I actually wore through the soles of my shoes. So I didn't realize it soon enough, and by Friday evening, I had blisters on the complete bottom, like not just a blister here or there on the side, but the entire bottom of both my feet actually were covered in blisters, and it was like walking on fire. That's how bad it was. And thankfully, Adam, when he was going out for breakfast, He said, "Oh yeah, there's a Walgreens by here. Can I get you something?" I said, "Yes, I need needles, rubbing alcohol, and Dr. Scholl's because I need new. I just need a new Souls, but Dr. Scholl's, you might as well spend the money on it." I haven't been to a con yet besides joining. I mean, I've never paid for a con. Like flat out bought a ticket. I never had to. I had to. Okay, there was one time. There's actually one time I paid for it. I've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 running conventions. I'm not good with crowd. I like smaller group. I think it. Yeah, the problem with smaller cons is the. Am I importing right now? I forgot. Yeah, I'm importing. We're going to first import real quick. Hold on. Head shape. The problem you have with smaller cons is they can be fun, but they can also be really boring, and lots of drama. You know, most of the Texas cons actually have destroyed themselves. Fiesta Equestria is, I don't even know why they continued on this year, but they did. Brony Fanfare, same thing. I don't know why they existed this year, but they did. Nightmare Nights Dallas, I still have hope for, but you know, it's like you see the fandom is like dying, you know, and a lot of people, you know, in some areas, it's just getting smaller. But in like Texas, where we have 3 major cons that used to be like 2,000, 3,000 people, you get really pathetically sad. So, God, I hate working through these directories. Source. Yeah, we're exporting there. All right. So we're just going to copy this. This is the most brilliant thing I've thought of so far today. Well, a lot of the smaller cons are really just big meetup groups, or they're just meetup cons, more or less. And the problem with that is even like with the Houston Bronies in Houston, Texas, they've got a big, group of people, like 100 something plus people that are active. But the problem is the internal drama in Houston group is kind of bad. And they decided, the Fiesta Equestria used to be, the first year was amazing. Like it was a big old, you think of every Northwest, you think of EQLA, that kind of thing, that was that kind of con. But the guy who owned it, well, kind of owned it, went out there and said, "Oh, hey, I think I'm going to profit off this, so I'm going to sell you the rights to the name if you'll pay me like $20,000 or $30,000 to this other guy who was trying to resolve this whole drama thing going on." And eventually what happened is this guy bought the rights to the name and started this con, and then he was like, "Okay, that's cool, you can make it next year." Instead of doing what he was going to do, we did last, the first year, the second year he decided to make it into a meetup group. And then this year I had to go to that for something. It was even worse. It was like the most, like, you think of a big convention space, like it can hold thousands of people. There was maybe a couple hundred. That con's dead, you know. What did I just create? Head shape, main shape, and tail shape. These are DMXs. Okay. Why did I bother with it? Oh. Anyway. But yeah, no, anyway, I keep rambling on about that. Well, thank you for remembering that one location I need to remember. Or the last one that I needed. Alright, so actually, That's because I forgot to start a new one up. That would have been a weird thing. I don't know why Blender can't remember paths. I just don't understand that fact. Alright, so we're going to export this. Yeah, AC Race Pass is pretty cool. Back to my convention story, because I'm about to compile again. Let me check one more thing. Head shape, main shape. Did I forget the tail shape distance? Oh no, did I close it before we did it? I didn't export it? What did I do? Okay, maybe did it this time? There we go. Back to my story about not having to pay for anything. When I started this, it was only because my group of friends that I had met not that long before that. I think it was March 2013, right after the failure of Las Pegasus Unicon. There was one in Dallas called Bronyfest, and that was my first con I'd ever been to, for one. My parents never let... See, in Dallas, there's a big con called... oh, it escapes me now. It's a big anime con. I can't remember for the life of me. It's like... oh, yeah, it's a big anime con. You know, it's the biggest, you know, pretty big around. It's like the Comic Con of anime cons, more or less. Or one of them. Kind of like San Japan, but... name escapes me. Anyway, I always want to go to that one. And then I never get to go because my parents didn't let me go as a kid. And then that was my first one, and then okay, I'm working as, you know, part of the media doing camera work, so that's how I got my comp. And then every time since then, I've either gotten a panelist badge or I've gotten a media badge. Now that first con, something really crappy happened to some kid. He was it wasn't really a kid. He was more like 19 or 20, but he was handicapped. He had muscular dystrophy. So there's this mechanical chair, and his mom had dropped him off, and I was out there at the time. I smoked cigarettes. I was out there, and I helped him in, whatever, and showed him to the registration table. You know, I was wearing a press badge and stuff. We thought it'd be nice. And then his mom had given him like a credit card, and his credit card, you know, you would think, oh, they could just swipe and use like Square or whatever else. You just take credit cards at most vendors now, right? You go to Bronycon, and they'll swipe it. Like that's the only way you really make money, is if you can take credit cards. Well, I sat there and I watched the registration person, who was, I think, the co-con chair, go out there and basically tell him, we don't accept credit cards. You'll have to get the cash machine over there. And of course, it's not one of those kind of credit cards you can just like take out money from, you know. So it's like, you know, I said, you know what? No, give me one moment. And I go over there and I go get the good cash machine. And I get $40 out of it to pay for the entire weekend. Well, the day pass, actually, for that one. The day pass for this kid, or this guy. To me, he's a kid because he was like 19 or 20. But it's like, here, give him a pass. You know, here's the money. And so she took my money. And that's the only time I ever paid for a con. And then I got the money back because the con chair got word of it when I told the guy that was heading our group. And he just got livid at this person. Like, how could you treat this kid like that? How could you refuse his payment? Or even, you know, just like tell him you must, sorry, you can't come to the con because you brought the wrong form of payment. And his mama dropped him off. I gave him the stuff. And of course, his mom was going to pick him up later. Didn't really have a cell phone, really. I mean, couldn't really talk either, from what I can tell. So what they did to make it right to him is, not only did they comp me, but they also gave him like the con, like there was like a prize or something for some like plushie of the con mascot. It's a big thing. It's a big plush. Like you would think of like a semi-life-size pony plush. They gave that to him, and a bunch of con swag. So it kind of worked out right. They knew him actually. Like the con chair knew the guy, the kid, because it's like a local meetup group. So it turned out okay. I think that person got in trouble. Like that was the last time that con happened. So if that tells you anything. That's the only time I actually paid for a con, and I got my money back. So I guess I didn't really pay for it. I paid for the travel expenses, which was gas and hotel rooms, so that kind of negated itself, but whatever. Where am I at? I'm going to software, Windows. I'm going to go to that. Actually, I wonder if Crowbar still works. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times actually maybe I've not had to do it that many times, but there've been times I got there and I'll be like I was at a con one time and some guy was with us. He was, I can't remember his name, but he wasn't really part of our main group. He was not really someone I really knew. I kind of talked to him online at one point, but Twitter follower, but really didn't know him really well, and he couldn't afford to eat the last day of the con, because he saved up all his money. And he didn't realize that, okay, it's going to cost, this amount of money to eat at the con. So he really couldn't eat much. So it was like, here, let me just buy you a burger. So I bought him a burger. I mean, it's worth it to me to see someone not go hungry. I mean, obviously I've not gone hungry. Let's see, compile QC file. There we go. Usually it is. Compiling finished. Able to remove. Yeah, that's not an error. So apparently it worked. Let me go ahead and set up these VMTs, the VTS for the bits. Actually, why didn't I do this beforehand? Let me check the individual unit parts that have modification to them. See, it was the main shape that had the not Robert, rubber. There we go. So that's in there. That's not the head one. That's that one. So let me check the head as well. The head S&D. There's did it again. All right. It has rubber. Let's see. I. Do I have that? Yes. SHI. Okay. I'm looking for debug empty, which basically means that there's an error or not. Let's see. Light. One last one we'll check for this. Okay. Because if it works for these, it should work for the other ones as well. So I'm going to assume it compiled correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here into this, and we're going to import the rubber and the rubber. Yeah, it's rubber. I think. I only wonder what creators will do when the fandom dies out. Well, let me show you. I don't know if I showed this to you already. I'm actually in. I'm making a duo fandom piece right now. For both Fallout and Fallout Equestria, really. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have a Sketchfab account, by the way. Actually, I'll link this in chat if you want to see it. This is a supporting scene I'm making mostly because I want to make a Fallout 4 piece before Fallout 4 comes out. I may have shown this actually before. I'll do it again just in case anyone in stream hasn't seen it yet. I actually haven't seen how many people are on stream in the last hour or so, so let's see, garage. Where is that at? That's this one right here, okay. This is my reference image. I may have seen this before. Okay, yeah, so this is not, you know, the release of the Steelhose model is not hinging on this. In fact, I'm probably not even going to have a beta release. I'm just going to have a release. Because if I'm having the materials after this point, well, there's no point in, like, redoing anything. Okay, just us. Alright, so I want to do this before Fallout 4 comes out. It may or may not work. I mean, if you look at my... A lot of these are private models, actually, or hidden away with the locks, but, like, that pill bottle was never done. I don't know why I still have 2. I was working on a Star Wars E-Wing. There's Argo's model to be released whenever his video comes out. It's not using the right colors, but that's the basic geometry. But I've got a few more models that I haven't uploaded here. I uploaded ones I have on my work computer, but this is the one I want to kind of get done. If you zoom in, like with your mouse, well, it's like 3D interactive, right? You're using your mouse, and you just use your scroll wheel to do that. I think it clips off at some point, but it's giving me at least. If you're using a mobile, that's probably what it is. If you're on a computer, though, it's different. It works technically on your mobile devices. Usually, if you have a WebGL, I think installed. But anyway, that's what I'm working on, kind of on my lunch hours, because Steelhose is too intensive for my work machine at work. I've got kind of like nearly the best desktop grade system right now and still chugging along, so this is what I can make in an i5 2500K machine. I mean, it's not really, it's just like an hour here, next day, a few props here and there, and I mean, stuff you do to keep you active. That's really how you learn modeling. Is, I mean, you gotta just do it, practice and practice and practice. So, but anyway, back to this. I'm gonna leave out the bump. I want to leave it there just in case I need to like actually add a bump map to it. But I don't need to have a lot of these flags. So Fong boost. I want to reduce this to say 0. This is where it gets shiny. So like this is your shininess area right here with the Fong boost. The Fong exponent defaults to 1 if you don't change it to whatever else. So I'm gonna leave it commented out. Now the light warp texture is based off that. I don't want to use a light warp texture. I don't know if I have to or not. I will see. Rim light's fine. I'm not using any kind of bump maps, so the SS bump map I don't need. I don't need this ambient occlusion texture either, because I'm not using a bump map. But I'm using ambient occlusion, so that's fine. Argodamon's probably more pro in this than I am, but you know. I was experimenting on Sunday after the stream. I actually didn't take much of a break. I got off because at some point I get so tired that I can't concentrate on the stream and what I'm doing. So I was able to go out there and figure this out last night, I guess, is what it was. But target, no, I don't want to save it as a target file. I'll save it as a VMT file. Error parsing material on line 2. Oh, lol. I forgot to take out a few things here. Okay, so we need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. Okay. At least it error checked it for me. You know what I mean? Alright. Next one is the eyes. So we're going to do... Is it SHIs or SHEIS? Can't remember. SH... Where's that at? So if I just do a date... It's not eyes, it's eye. Okay. Same thing, Fong boost. Except we want to have like a Fong boost of like, hell, I don't know. We'll do the standard 2, what I'm going to do. And we'll save this as, not rubber, but actually, eye. Alright. And then we need the light, and now I have to go look up something real quick on Source SDK. Luminance, can't remember. There we go. Adding light. That's not what I'll do. Light map, 4-way, or Fong materials. Let's see. There we go, maybe. Fong, Fresnel, boost, exponent, texture, Fong, Fresnel. Use the luminance of the base texture as Fong mask. What? That's freaky. I'm trying to make it actually light it, you know, like a light up. What's the material system? Specular, no. Detail, base texture, transparency, no. Distance alpha, translucence, self-illum, I think is what it is. There we go. Okay, so self-illum mask might not work in episode 1. Oh, okay, so we're gonna add a self-illum tint. Oh, okay, cool. Well, to be honest, they're probably gonna... probably going to be a 5th generation. I wouldn't disagree that there will be a 5th generation at some point. The question is timing. Well, see, what I imagine is when they started out with the first season, right? They attracted a certain genre of kids, you know, and as those kids grow up, they either lose interest because the show is still, you know, it's too babyish sometimes, or the show has to adjust itself to its original target audience, kind of, you know, not fully. Like, you don't adjust a show from kid to teenager or whatever, like a hard transition. But if they did, then they're kind of segregating. Kind of, you remember how like, Avatar: The Last Airbender was? Avatar: The Last Airbender went out there, and the original Avatar: The Last Airbender was great, but they tried to appeal to the same people who loved Avatar, who are older now, and they tried to attract a teen audience, which didn't really buy into it, which is why it failed as a show. Well, you know, they had to stop it. Like, they stopped airing it, and thankfully they kept it online and kept releasing episodes until their story was done. But as far as TV syndication goes, they kind of screwed the pooch there. So it have to be like, so it have to be, hold on. I'm going to move Mike for a second. There we go. Whoop. I changed to my other mic. There we go. I had this set up for a bit because my butt's getting tired. Let's see. Self-moving perimeter. Use unlit shader instead. Okay, so you see alpha channel the base texture and uses it as the self-illumined mask. Turns to map for how bright each pixel in the image should appear. Okay. This means partial brightness or even only small areas of brightness can exist. A partially bright face can still receive light that is added to the default light. Okay. Well. Okay, so because I'm not changing the color texture, and I could change it to say what it's basically saying here is if I wanted to use the alpha channel on this as the light. Oh, I'm trying to think. I didn't change the alpha on it. I'll see how it goes. I may have to play with the alpha channel on this particular thing. It's the eye. That's fine. Let me save as light, and then work on the light. You mean season 5? I mean Generation 5 or Fallout 4? Let's see. I actually don't need any of this for this one. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this stuff out of this one and then just stuff it in one. Oh, Gen 5, yeah. I don't think they're going to go out there and ruin it. You know, you got a good show, why break it? You know, but you never know. I think maybe they'll try to take a different like story arc or a different time period or something, just to keep it fresh. You don't want to like carry over everything from the last season or thing. Well, yeah, feel free to. I'll just give something to talk about. So I need to create the eye texture. Actually, I'm gonna the eye texture is. Personally, I'm excited for Fallout 4. I actually bought the full Pip-Boy edition for PC. So. Okay, yeah, that's fine. SH Uber. Uber. I didn't mean that. That would have been a problem. Like, where the hell is that BTF at? Rubber, maybe? Not Uber. Alright. That's not the one I want to mess with, though. I want to say this as SH I. Then I want to import again. Can't wait for 3 other games, yeah. I mean, I'm not normally a gamer, but I'll play Fallout 4 simply because I love Fallout. It's just beautiful. Like, I loved Fallout 3, the only problem was it's so old. Like, I was a sophomore in college when it came out, I think, more or less. That was a long time ago. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's add still hooves. I don't see any errors, I can tell. However, I don't see any lights either. Oh, that's because his head's up there. Alright, so we enable... Okay, his light's not doing anything. Hold on, let me check something real quick. I have the night. Okay. Alright, so we're going to just set up something like that, and then check the lack of shininess. There's a Mad Max game coming out? That'd be cool. I thought it was an interesting movie, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but you know. All right. So what we have here essentially is the dark of the night. Well, what I'm checking right now is the materials. Now, of course, God, it's so pixelated. No, like if it was just like smooth, that wouldn't be a problem. But if you look at the thing that the eye is like pixelated, and that's just the way it is from the standard. Alright, let me check to make sure that the got carry through. Go ahead and unload the map, and I'm going to load in may have to ask Argadam how to get illumination on his light, but I don't like how the material is on this gun. Like, it's fine over here, maybe, but maybe it's because the light's hitting it wrong or something. I need to change that too. Don't understand. It's just my interpretation of the light. I mean, he's definitely got the rubber parts there. I think the rubber is too shiny, though. Yeah, have him move his neck. Yeah, the rubber's too shiny. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can send you a, it was still here. Oh, no, that's a, attack for a VNT. Give me 1 second. There you go. Let's see. Back to what we're doing. Alright, so first of all, we need to take off the thongs on... I wonder if I could do that without messing things up. No, it's not going to do that. Mess things up. Well, it's not an issue of the texture, it's just that the bum map's causing light effects. I'm getting 0.21%, 0.21% drop frames. I don't know if that's affecting it or anything. But I don't like the solid texture here. I don't like the texture on that. I don't like the shininess of that. I don't like the shininess of that, and I really don't like... I don't want to export that again, but... the way the bump map sits on this eyebrow, I don't like either. So... let me correct one thing at a time. We're going to correct the easy enough to fix without recompiling first, and then we'll move on to other bits as time allows. So, alright, so the issue with, what was it, the rubber, SH. Rubber. I still have a thong boost of whatever. I could actually take thong off just for the hell of it. Not ready to fly. Alright. That's fixed. I was thinking about using the same texture map for everything, but I'm trying to think how I would do that. Alright, so looks like we had the rubber was problem. Let's say this, and then the eye was too bright. Alright, so eyes obviously won't be shining, but whatever. At least you can't see the pixelation on them. Roommate's laughing. Lol. The rubber bits are rubber, but why are the things down here not? Like, look at this rubber pit right here. Bit right there. It's not shiny, but that rubber bit is. Let me check that shell, make sure I didn't. Like, it's black, like it's supposed to be black, but it's not supposed to be shiny. No, it's supposed to be rubber. I don't know why it's overriding it. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's rubber. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy or something. Not supposed to be shiny. Whatever. It's not shiny there. In fact, let me even do a light. I'll show you. I mean, that's not shiny. That is shiny. That's not shiny. That's shiny. And it could also be the metal shining back, but it's using the same material as the stuff in here, right? You know, it's the same assignment for an SMD, so I don't know what that's doing. Or You know what? Did I not do the rear? That's probably what happens. I didn't do the rear end. Lol. The tail head and main in the rear shape. That's actually probably not a bad thing. Let me show you why. I didn't... Okay, so in Maya, and I did export it, I exported out in S&D, but I didn't make a DMX file for it. So it's still thinking this is supposed to be part of that. Trying to think what I would want to do in this. I don't know if maybe I should... I'm trying to do a cue mark thing, so let me see if I can find Brotherhood of Steel.